Clearwater's algae turf scrubbers are now manufactured by Adaptive Reef, and they have undergone quite the overhaul, and boy oh boy did they trim down. Not only are they slimmer and more compact, but they are also faster and easier to harvest. But before we get into all of those refinements in the new design, let's take a look at what hasn't changed. Clearwater's algae turf scrubbers are built from high-quality acrylic and PVC components. They include red heavy hydroponic spectrum LED light panels to make sure that the algae gets all the light that it needs to thrive and uptake excess nutrients from your aquarium. And they are one of the best known and most trusted algae turf scrubbers available for serious reefers. When you open up the box, you're gonna find the Clearwater ATS with the included light blockers, the LED light panels, a threaded barbed fitting, as well as a bulkhead fitting, some Teflon tape or plumber's tape, and a sample bottle of Isolate MT trace element solution. The new Clearwater ATS is currently available in 4 models: the CW50, 100, 200, and 300, rated for well-stocked aquariums up to 50, 100, 180, and 400 gallons in volume respectively. They all share the same 3/8" barbed inlet and 1" outlet as well. Now, while the new version of the Clearwater ATS still accomplishes the exact same goal of flushing water over a screen that is provided with lots of light, how it does that has actually changed quite a bit. And when you look at the old version next to the new version, you start seeing some of these changes right away. For example, the lighting mounts have changed, and now they take up less space while also making it easier to take them off and put them back onto the ATS. The light blockers are now included with each unit and no longer need to be purchased separately. They're now made with lightweight PVC board instead of acrylic and are easily removable, so you can check the algae growth inside of the ATS whenever you'd like to. The 2 PVC drain fittings that used to be on the side of the unit have been consolidated to a single drain that now comes out of the bottom of the ATS. And instead of PVC pipe and fittings for the external inlet, they now have a simple acrylic channel system with a barbed fitting, which cuts down on a lot of the bulk from that old model. And on top of that, instead of a spray bar to distribute flow down the plastic screen, the water exits a slot in the side of the ATS near the top, then flows across the screen carrier and then down the screen. This means you no longer have to shut off the pump to harvest the algae from the screen. It also means you no longer have to unthread a union. Instead, you can just lift off the lid and lift up the screen carrier. Another change that I really like is that rather than small awkward clips that hold the screen to a spray bar, there are 2 thick bars on the carrier that are much easier to remove and are much more robust, so you won't be fiddling with small finicky parts trying to reattach the screen. Each unit comes with a pair of IP66 rated LED light panels with a red heavy hydroponic spectrum that works very well for growing ATS friendly hair algae. The panels are wired together to a single plug, so you can easily have them both turn on and off using a simple outlet timer or with a single outlet on your aquarium controller. Like I touched on earlier, the lights used to be bolted in place on an acrylic frame with the older models, but the new versions trimmed off some of that extra bulk and use a simplified set of brackets that these panels slot right into. This system makes it much easier to remove and replace them whenever you need to, like when you decide you'd like to give them a quick wipe down of any dust or salt creep that might build up on them over time. When it comes to installation, things have also trimmed down. Instead of having to hook up a pump with tubing to one side and then plumb 2 separate drains that exit on the opposite side, you now only have the single barbed inlet for the pump on the one side and a single drain bulkhead that has been relocated to the bottom of the ATS. While this does mean that the new versions can't sit on a completely flat surface like the previous version, it does have a few distinct advantages. The most obvious being that it really cuts down on the overall bulkiness of the ATS, and also that you now have one less drain line to worry about plumbing. But more importantly, having that drain on the bottom means that you don't need any elbows or soft tubing to direct the water down towards the sump, and instead you can just add a piece of straight pipe to go right down into the sump. This is especially easy to do if you also pick up the optional PVC board stand that allows you to use the ATS as a drop-in solution, making it way easier to set up and install. But before you pick one up and install one, if you're just wondering how effective an algae turf scrubber can be, we've actually put them to the test to see if they can outperform a protein skimmer at removing excess nutrients in this video right here. You might actually be surprised at the results, so check it out.